this... Okay. Oh! Oh! Okay. Okay. I got it now. Ah! That's frustrating. Don't mix the motto. That way I come out with both sides. Oh, that was bad. Okay. Okay, let's start over again. Hello, my name is Ace Reton. How are y'all doing today? This is what I get for not using one of my scenes very often. I forgot to correct everything. So that was embarrassing. Yeah. So let me kind of just go over everything since, I was showing but not really speaking. So the stator that I had for that blown motor that happened, I think, about a month ago, had 36 bundles of wire. Each bundle of wire has an active magnetic field that rotates around that wire, despite that it's directly going from left to right, or right to left in this case. So in the center, we have a rotor that does not take any electricity at all. Instead, it's a closed system. So imagine just you pushing on a wheel on a toy. That's exactly what that is. Your finger is basically the magnetic field pushing on the wheel of that toy. That's basically how that works. That's about as simple as I can make it. So, in order for me to rotate a magnetic field around, I can't do two because it would just go top bottom infinitely, and it would not actually do any kind of rotation at all. So, instead of divided by 2, I get to divide by 3. This leaves me to have 12 active wires that I can have active at the same time. This way I can go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Kind of like a waltz. And that's why you don't really see much of like two-phase alternating current motors. Either you got single phase that has some bit of slight setup, or you got three-phase motors, which is common for like industrial applications, Tesla motors, so on and so forth. In this case, we're going to make our own three-phase motor, but it's not going to be alternating current. It's just going to be pulsing DC current. So, we're going to use some elementary math here. Kind of break down what I can do with 12 and 1. So, what is 12 divided by 2? It's 6. And then what is 12 divided by 3? It's 4. So, if you look at this, I have 6 factors I could play with. So, the very minimum is 1/12. So, in a given frame, I have 12 active wires that is stepping in not just really 1/12, it's actually divided by 3. So like, this is going to turn 1/36. This is going to turn 1/18. It's going to turn 1/12. And then I'll kind of go over the math on the bottom and explain how this works. And then 1 divided by 9. 1 divided by 6. and 1 divided by 3. Remember, we did divide this by 3. We have to imagine what we're doing with 36 bundles of wire and how it affects the motor to turn. So for every rotation, this takes 36 cycles. On the second stage, it would take 18 cycles to rotate the motor, because there would be 2 bundles of wire next to each other instead of just 1. If I have 3 bundles of wire next to each other and I go to the next bundle of wire that's 3 wires, it would be 12 cycles per rotation. You like the dyno in the corner? Thank you. Yeah, it was Utah. I guess they did a little bit of research, because I did main like a Utah back in the dyno game of the Isle. Ah, good old Pepsi. Sponsored by Pepsi. Not really. I like Pepsi more than Coke, though. It tastes better. It's a little sweeter. But I'll do however I can with it. So the lowest torque application, the highest torque application that would act like what you will call a servo. That's the things that robotic arms will turn. Yeah, Pepsi is great. I love it so much. And really, I think everybody should have a Pepsi, but I'm not the kind of person who divides politics into Pepsi or Coke. Drink however you like, but Pepsi is sweeter. Doesn't taste like uncaked donuts. This is actually to recycle a blown electric motor that I had in the house. And I'm reprogramming this to have a different life. So this is just giving you a concept of how I want to work with this. I wish I can actually give a picture about what I have, so it kind of makes sense. But essentially, these little circles are bundles of wire, and I'm too lazy to kind of make a 36 bundles. This here is the multiplication factor and how the speed settings are going to work. And then, of course, describing how many cycles it takes to rotate this whole thing once. Thanks. So, how do I make sure I control all this? Well, I'm going to blow y'all's mind because I kind of got a head start on that with these. So knowing that I've already kind of worked on this, I want to, let's see, I need to make the GitHub favorable. Let's close this for right now. Open with Visual Studio. Always do that with GitHub Desktop. Clone. Open to Visual Studio. So let's go ahead and move some folders around. We are going to go from motor control. That's going to take a C file. how I understood this, this is the operation file for that motor to run. So control alt, control copy, control paste, save. I kind of had a head start earlier, but I want to see how I could put Arduino into the GitHub. Because it's the challenging portion. This is basically the upgraded Arovia. It took everything that I know about her into this program. So all the things I've accumulated for over 5-6 years about JavaScript is going to be applied in this project. And this is going outside of the Discord bot project because I felt like it's way too niche. But I would still make a Discord bot, however, for engagement purposes. Like, you can acquire points to beat me up with Pepsi or something. I'm not sure. But I'm not making promises on that because I gotta get back into Discord programming. I did, however, make a nice, lovely little repository. Let me go ahead and open that. A while back, I had things kind of cleaned up. Oh, it's not in this one. Okay, I need to open Replit. There we go. There we go. So, this is Arovia now. She's been simplified into Oblivion, and she's more or less readable for me. It's all conditions, symbolisms, and all the good stuffs. Database has been kind of cleaned up a little bit. I now have a dependencies folder. I have the embeds where I want to embed. Oh, bite me. I still have the injection folder in case I ever want to go back to Legacy of the Isle, the dinosaur game. I still have some of that in the makings. Right now, that's on the back burner. Then, of course, I have my modules, all the things I typically would use every single time, into a folder where I can play with it more. I still have the freebie command, the inventory command. Like, this thing has been overhauled to the point that everything is just very simple, very easy to understand. This was a lovely makeover. Let me go ahead and show you. Like, if you were to ever play with my bot, for example, Discord. as I'm just doxing all of my friends and my community. Let's go to the all of my fun stuff. So let me go for freebie, because this has been overhauled by quite a lot. I have Legained points, and of course I got the time in processed in milliseconds. My goal is to get this as low as possible anytime I do to Discord bot development, but I have done this to the point that I will continue with it later on. But this is on a side burner until I get the main project up and running. But I'll do streams every now and then for Orofia. But yeah, let's get back to the Arduino for a moment. For many people who played with this before, Arduino is written in C. It has to have a return type in the front, and then whatever you do, you always have to specify a type. So, remember when I was talking about there are different stages, different bits of calculations? That's that right here. There's your multipliers of 136, 118, so on and so forth. These are how many bundles of wire are next to each other whenever they activate in a phase. These are speed selector pins, which will activate those pins respectively to tell the board what I want to speed to activate on. And of course, the setup begins with making sure all the pins are set low, set off until I need to activate them again. In all honesty, I could simplify this even further. I do want to AFK for one moment. I'll be right back. And I am back. Congratulations. Thank you all for waiting on me. Alright, so an Arduino, for those that don't know, is basically a programmable logic board that allows you to program specific bits. And how you do that is by turning on the bits low or high on a digital write. High means it's on, low means it's off. The speed selector pins, in this case, is going to help me determine what speed selector I want and what value it's going to represent. I still don't know how I want to design the UI. I need to make that folder. Ack. Web UI. That's going to have the index HTML. Doc type HTML. Kind of want to use jQuery on this one, because jQuery is fun to use. I need to figure out how that works now. Technically, I had like an Oro avatar thing, and that was through the military role-playing group in VR chat. This is now my evolved and personal form. This is basically kind of like a humanoid character of Child's Play. That's the original name I came up with for Ace Chibitan. It'll have little Orofia dancing around every now and then. You'll also have Orofia waifuettes. Left and right. If you look on X and see my profile picture banner on the very back, you should be able to see the artwork that someone did for me. It was great. It was wonderful. It was fantastic. Actually, I could do that right now. This lovely bit right here. If I hide a little bit, you see that there's like a ghostly Oro over here. Then there's Orofia, the one chasing it. It's adorable. And of course, this is back in like VR chat days where I attended military role-playing groups. Both of these are Orofia, but they have different iterations. Yes. So, the one on the left here, my left, came from the Canadian role-playing group that not many people would know about anymore. It's been disbanded, but I had a good time. Until the bitter end. And Orofia on the left, right here, represents the early days of Orofia as a dinosaur. Now, if we look over here, there's an active role-playing group in VR chat known as the British Armed Forces. I do recommend, if you guys ever want to try to play around in study military stuff, even though it's not really military certified, they're pretty good. And that's her uniform. And then the digital Orofia, that's a Discord bot Orofia. That's the whole inspiration. From dinosaur to Discord bot to military role playing group to me. I'm basically the final form. I will have my own cybernetic uniforms and stuff like that because I like playing Mega Man. And he will eventually end up being on a manga of some kind. Or rather, me in this case. Because I had the whole story written down with like 30,000 words. I just need to work on how I need to flesh it out, make a video game out of it. Like, that's like my final form project, is to make a video game from scratch in 3D open world fantasy. But that's like way down the road until I feel more confident about my programming skills. Who knows? I might make it in JavaScript. Who absolutely knows? But yeah, this is the stages of Varovia with her tanks, Leopard 2A7, and the Abrams tank. So I'm kind of happy with all that. But that's where the evolution happens. As per this, though, I want to extract 2. What was this folder? Ack. Project 8. Okay. D backups example stream project 8. Okay. So it's under backups. Example stream. Electrognito. There we go. Now if I slide that into this, and this will get yeeted. Thanks. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot more lore as soon as I flesh out this VTuber that you see before you. I mean, there are plans, and then plans within plans. I just gotta sort everything out. Apparently, ChatGPT has once again failed me. Oh, I need to install the Arduino extension, which makes sense, but Arduino. There we go. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work. A lot of work. Commit. Save all, commit. Pin mode is. This whole thing is written in freaking Arduino. Read it. How's it? I'm so confused. It's it's yelling at me because I just can't select this properly. Oh, use bundle. I had to click the bottom right. Durr. Okay. It makes so much better sense now. Until it don't. Why? Okay, see you later. Thank you for coming to the stream, buddy. I need to figure out how I want to work this. Where's version 4? I don't see version 4. What the heck? It lied to me. Compression is great. It's been a while since I've actually done HTML JavaScript. I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna have to use this. I forgot how all this works. It's been a while since I've done HTML. Oh, this is confusing. I should never have basically let ChatGPT decide things for me. But I was kind of a bit of a falling behind, and I needed a kind of a little bit of a help to get me started. But auto speed selector and some of these I recognize because I make goofy things like these. What did C say about tuple operators? Because I know those existed during C# and other C languages. AVG, please don't scream at me. But yeah, I do know that what I had was correct whenever I tried to make some speed adjustments. But yeah, essentially that's all I'm doing is I am putting these bundles of wires next to each other and then activating them in phases of 3. And by doing so, I need to do a big eraser. Kind of clean this up and make it simplified. So I'm going to say 36, 18, 12, 9, 6, and 3. So whatever I take the speed of my input and divide by that, and that's how many rotations I get. So I need to kind of demonstrate what kind of inputs I'm looking at. So we're going to make a lovely little rectangle. This is going to take the speed. Speed input. This is not going to be perfect, I promise you. Speed selector switches. And then I'm going to have 3 verified cable plugs, security pins. So, to make a box here with 3 pins. Three secure cable plug pins. It's like, you kind of see how I'm starting to form all this, right? It's like 36, 18, 12, 9, 6, and 3, respectively. And then, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. Actually, let me clean that up and make this a lot better. I almost honestly found this kind of hard to read with my handwriting. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, of course, there you go. And then, of course, these represent the cycles. So 36, 2, 3, 4, 18, 12, 9, 6, and 3. And each of these corresponds to these. So in a way, I will probably post this online. That way, y'all can kind of see it for yourselves and see what I'm kind of doing with this. Until then, I think it was an okay stream. Y'all are lovely patrons. And I appreciate every single one of you. So, thank you for coming to my conceptual beginning of the stream. I appreciate every single one of you. Until then, have fun, stay safe, God bless.